Hey, okay, this is week 7. I think in my last one I accidentally said week 6, but it's week 7 of distant learning. This is for the week of May 4th all the way to May 10th. Okay, so it's a week of this. All right, the first worksheet, which was the first assignment, which was completing function tables, should have been gone pretty much a little easier than this one. This is a short, rather difficult assignment, but it's reviewing the basic skill that you need to know for finding the rate of change from a table. First, what we're going to do is we're going to determine the rate of change, then we're going to determine the y-intercept, and we're going to do this by solving an equation because as you're going to find, most of these tables don't have 0 in the x column, which means they're not giving us the y-intercept. You've been doing it with your calculators, menu 413, but if you do not have an Inspire, which I do not have here at home, I'm going to show you how to do it without an Inspire. All right, so we're going to look at the first tables. We're going to be doing a lot of these together. All right, and first thing is I'm going to do my rate of change. My rate of change is going to be the difference of the difference of f of x, which remember, let's go back to the yesterday one, what we did last time. F of x is another way to say y, and we're going to look for the difference between these two. Okay, looking for the difference between x and y, I'm going to just go with these two right here. Let's see if I can calligraphy pen right there. There we go. Okay, so I want to find the difference between negative 15.5 and negative 12.5, and the difference between these is 3, and if I look, it's getting closer to 0, so it is increasing. The x column is also getting closer to 0, so it's also increasing, and I'm going to find the difference between negative 4.75 and negative 3.25. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my calculator and I'm just going to subtract those since they are the same. There we go. I'm looking at what I've already done. And when I subtracted those, I got 3 and I got over here, I got 1.5. Oops, wrong end. 1.5. All right, so if I divide 3 by 1.5, because it's f of x divided by x, then I get 2. So my rate is 2. So my equation is going to be f of x equals 2x. Now I need to figure out how to get to the next number. And what I notice here is that this point gives me a nice easy number to get to. So I'm going to use that point and I'm going to substitute that in. So I'm going to take, this kind of goes with what we were doing with the last assignment with function table, but I have to figure out what I have to add to get to the answer. So it's a lot like what we were doing in the first assignment, but we're going a little bit, just an extra little step. So 2 times negative 1.5, sorry about that, equals negative 3. Now I need to get to negative 3. I need to know what do I need to add to negative 3, there's a little box here, to get me to negative 9. And I can even do this, I can count on my fingers. Let's see if I can, negative 3, negative 4, negative 5, negative 6, negative 7, negative 8, that's 5, negative 9. So I've got 6 fingers. So, and it's going to be both negative, so I'm going to put a negative 6 here. That means that my y-intercept is 0, negative 6, and the second part of my equation is minus 6. So my equation is 2x minus 6. I'm going to highlight that since it's not the most easily, since my writing's not that good with this. Okay, so that's my answer to this. All right, now I like the other one, the next one better because there's no decimals. So I'm going to go back to my pen and I'm going to just take my first 2 points -1 and -5. Now this time I see that I'm getting further negative, so I am decreasing. And on the other side, I'm going 1, 3, 5, 7, so I am increasing. So when I have opposite signs, plus and minus, that means that my rate of change is going to be negative. Okay, the difference between 1 and 5 is 4, and the difference between 1 and 3 is 2. 4 divided by 2 is -2, so my rate of change is -2. Now I'm going to use that same process, that substitution process, to get my y-intercept. So I'm going to go down here, and I'm going to take the first point. So I know that my rate of change is 2. Let me highlight for y'all which point I'm going to take, because I don't have any. If I had 2 positives, I would use that, but I don't have that. All right, so I'm going to use 2 times 1, and I need to know what I need to do to get to -1. So the rate of change is -2 times 1, which is -2. And I need to know -2 plus what will get me to -1. And I just have to climb up the ladder 1 time. So my y-intercept is 0, -1. Now that I have my slope and my intercept, then I can write my equation. My equation is going to be -2x, f of x, which is the same as y, -2x plus 1. And you might want to see if you can, I would try it with a different point. -2 times 5 is -10. Plus 1, -10 plus 1 is -9. So to me, that's an easy way of getting that y-intercept when they don't give it to you, and if you don't have your TI Nspire where you can write it in the table. Some of you will get a little better with this and find, oh wait, this is easy to do. It depends on the numbers. Okay, now this next one, I'm not thrilled with the numbers on this one because it got some decimals. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cheat a little bit, and I'm going to use these 2 points right here, and I'm going to kind of mark out those 2 points because they have decimals. So you only need to take 2 points. You can take any 2 points to get the information that you need. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to figure out what's my difference between 4 and 16, and it is 12, and that side f of x is increasing, so it's going up. And also x is increasing, so I know that my slope will be positive because they're both increasing. Okay, now I need to figure out, I need to go from -2 to -4, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Since you can't really see my fingers that well, I'm counting on my fingers with the dots, and I see that I have 6 dots. So my rate of change, my rate of change is 6. All right, now I'm going to have to erase my work so I can fit in here. I'm going to look at I'm going to use 6, and I'm going to use the positive point. So I'm going to use this point right here. This point right there, 4 and 16. And I'm going to do 6 times 4 plus what will give me 16. 6 times 4 is 24. So 24 plus, well, I'm going to have to go down. That's going to have to be negative, so because I'm going to get a smaller number. So 24 minus 16 is 8. So it's going to be 24 plus -8. So my y-intercept is 0, -8. That leaves my function to be 6x minus 8. And those are 3 kind of difficult ones. If you look at the ones down here on the bottom, we're just doing the same thing. We're going to do rate of change. We're going to do y-intercept. And this, on the last two, they were very nice because if you look here, they're giving you the y-intercept. So my y-intercept for this one is 0. Whoops, sorry about that. Just like in the classroom, I forget to change pens. All right, my intercept is going to be 0, -10. So in these two, the last two cases, all I need to do is find my rate of change. For this one, you're going to find your rate of change, and then you're going to substitute in to see if you can figure out. Again, since these are got decimals, I would just ignore those 2 points, and I'm just going to look at those 2 points right there. All right, good luck with those last three. And I will look forward to seeing how you did on these. Remember that I'll be highlighting in green what you did right and highlighting in yellow what you did wrong. Have a great day. See ya. Thanks for listening.